Hello, and welcome to the 2026 February DAC training on accommodations. My name is Devin Avery, and I am a database administrator in the Office of Assessment and Accountability. This training is one in a series meant to prepare DACs and BACs for the upcoming spring test administration. Today's agenda will cover required training, the accommodations environment, EL accommodations, ordering accommodated print materials, resources, and KDE committee work. Let's begin with required training. Annual training is essential for staff to understand their role in providing accommodations and meeting regulatory requirements. There are links in this slide to the assessment regulation training resources available, as well as for the regulations themselves. Any violation of the inclusion regulation is automatically a violation of the administration code regulation. Let's discuss accommodations environment. This training will reference many examples related to KSA, but each assessment may have slight variances and vendor-specific details. To ensure accommodations are provided appropriately for each assessment, test administrators should always refer to the administration manual for each assessment, as well as the administration code and inclusion of special populations regulations. For any specific questions not addressed in this presentation, please reach out to OAA for clarification. Scribes may type and also perform drag and drop or other actions related to technology-enhanced items if the student is unable to perform those actions independently. The scribe accommodation is always a one-to-one accommodation. Please note that a scribe may not read back a student's response to them unless the student also has a reader accommodation marked on their plan. Speech to text is not available for the spring 2026 KSA. Students may utilize a human scribe since the technology is not available. The human reader accommodation can be administered one-to-one or in a small group of up to 4. The DAC or BAC may set up a read aloud session, which will automatically assign students in that session to the same form and create a proctor ticket for the person administering the accommodation. All other guidelines for readers still apply. The proctor test ticket is designed to print out a ticket for the proctor to use to log into their own device and be able to read an assessment to up to a group of 4 students. When the read aloud session is created, it will provide one proctor ticket per session. If a session contains multiple students, the ticket cannot be copied and used simultaneously with multiple proctors at the same time. However, the ticket could be used successively to test students. For example, if there are 5 students assigned to a session, a proctor could test one student in a one-to-one environment, and when finished, use that same ticket to then test a group of 4 students who have similar accommodations. When using the proctor test ticket, please be aware of which ticket is being used to sign in. It is advisable to print the proctor test ticket on different colored paper. If a student takes the assessment using a proctor test ticket, it will not save or report their answers, and this will also result in an allegation. A student's plan must indicate that they receive an online or text reader. If the online text reader box is checked, that is the mode of reader that should be used during state assessment. These are not interchangeable. Detailed instructions for activating text-to-speech in PAN can be found on the Kentucky portal, and this must be done prior to a student beginning an assessment. In a case where the technology is not available or fails, a human reader may be used in place of the online reader until the technology is available again. Additionally, a human reader may correct a skipped word or mispronunciation by the text reader if requested by the student. Some students have an accommodation for stopping the clock due to medical concerns. KDE generally accepts this as a valid state testing accommodation. Directions for temporarily exiting TestNav 8, for example, to take a break or move a student to another location before finishing the test, can be found on page 42 of the Test Administration Manual. If a student exits TestNav either unintentionally or intentionally before completing the test, then the student's test must be resumed by the test administrator before they can continue. DACs or BACs need to enable the online calculator functionality by setting a flag in PAN. Pearson has guidance regarding this process in the Kentucky portal. The online Desmos calculators are linked on this slide. These calculators are specific to parameters set for Kentucky and differ from the ones on the regular Desmos site. OAA encourages you to have students practice with these calculators during regular instruction and classroom assessment. Here are the requirements for handheld calculators during state assessments. Any handheld calculator must align with the Kentucky-specific Desmos online calculator. This ensures fairness for all students. Before testing, verify that the handheld calculator matches the functionality of the Kentucky Desmos calculators. Check the KDE calculator policy for prohibited models. An EL student may use accommodations in the state-required content assessments if they meet the criteria outlined on page 16 of the Inclusion of Special Populations Regulation. Accommodations may include a human reader, scribe, extended time, oral native language support, and use of a dictionary. All interpreters must complete the Administration Code and Inclusion of Special Populations Regulation trainings before a test session starts. Additionally, anyone not working in a certified position for the district must sign a non-disclosure agreement. Oral native language support can be provided in a group of up to 4 students if they are the same grade in language. Please note the person providing services must also be able to actively monitor students while they are testing. Students who have additional accommodations such as scribe or dictionary must be tested one-to-one. Dictionaries may be paper or electronic, but must be word-to-word and not contain definitions or pictures. Internet capabilities must be disabled. Artificial intelligence or AI tools such as Pocket Talk or Google Translate may not be used for EL translation services and the administration of state assessments due to conflicts with the Administration Code and Inclusion of Special Populations regulations. AI tools process data inputs into their algorithms, creating a breach of test security when secure test items are introduced into the database. This compromises the integrity of the assessment and violates confidentiality protocols. Let's discuss ordering accommodated print materials. Accommodated print materials may be ordered and Pearson Access next. There are kits for Braille and large print. Please note that the ordering window is between March 30 and June 3rd. There will not be any specific shipping windows for accommodated materials. All accommodated materials will be submitted via additional order. Those step-by-step instructions can be found on the Pearson Access online support document. There are a limited number of paper tests available for special circumstances only, and those can only be obtained with KDE approval, and requests are made using the paper test request form only. You may not order regular size print paper test through PAN. Let's talk about some accommodations resources. Please keep in mind that the online practice tests are meant to familiarize students with the TestNav platform and the question types they may encounter. The online practice test, including accommodated practice test with text-to-speech and calculator enabled, can be found on the Kentucky portal, as well as within the TestNav app. For the most authentic experience, please use the practice test located in the TestNav app. These mirror the operational testing environment and most closely familiarize students with the platform. New for 2026, KDE has Braille practice tests available. There are practice tests for each tested grade and content area, and districts may request these using the Braille practice test request form. Due to the limited nature of these materials, they will be on a check-in, check-out system, which may be renewable based on demand. More details can be found in the request form itself. And now here are some links to resources specific to accommodations. The online testing toolbox gives policy, accommodation guides, technology guides, and general tips and best practices. The accommodations bookmarks are quick reference sheets for those providing accommodations. The paper test request, calculator request, and Braille practice test request forms discussed earlier are also linked here for your convenience. KDE has several opportunities for committee work coming up in 2026. The Kentucky Department of Education is seeking Kentucky educators to assist in several assessment-related tasks that will take place this year. K-12 and post-secondary educators, as well as community stakeholders interested in participating in committee work, are needed. A pool of candidates is being gathered for activities that will occur. A Google form will be shared with DACs to forward to qualified applicants. A large portion of this work will be accomplished virtually, and participants receive a stipend. Here are the dates for our 2026 February DAC hybrid question and answer sessions. Please note that the Frankfurt location is in person only, but we do have hybrid options for Ashland, London, and Bowling Green. And please note, if weather or other circumstances impact an in-person session, the Q&A session will be held online, and we'll communicate that through a special DAC email. The February DAC Q&A sessions will follow the same topics and time frame at each location. They will begin at 9 a.m. local time. Once an agenda item has no additional questions, staff will move on to the next topic. Participants should plan to attend the entire meeting. Here are the recorded trainings available for administration of spring 2026 assessments. Please review the recorded trainings for each or pertinent topics, as full presentations will not be given at the live Q&A sessions. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out to dacinfo@education.ky.gov or call 502-564-4394. Thank you for joining me today to review this accommodations training.